Hello everybody, how are you? In this video, I want to talk to you about conversation classes. So if you are an English student, an advanced English student, or even a fluent student, I would like to talk to you about how to prepare better for your conversation classes. I've been a teacher for over 20 years and you know what's funny? It's funny that students that come for conversation classes don't really want to talk. And this is absurd. I know it's crazy, but it is true. In the beginning of every class, I always ask the students three questions, right? I ask them, tell me about your weekend. Then I asked them about their job. I said, how's work? What have you been doing? And I asked them about the news. I say, tell me about the news. Have you read, seen, or heard anything interesting in the past couple days? And you know what happens when I ask these questions? For more than 50% of students, when I say, tell me about your weekend, the student says, it was good. Or just, sometimes they don't even say it was, they just say good. So how was your weekend? Good. Come on, I mean really, this is a conversation class. So if it is a conversation class, you have to talk, right? Now, don't be fooled because conversation classes are not for free conversation. If you think that a conversation class is for you to just talk about whatever you want to talk about, that's wrong. The purpose of a conversation class is for you as a student to use the vocabulary, the expressions that you've learned from the past classes. So it's an opportunity that you have to use the vocabulary and the expressions you've learned. Okay? So when a teacher asks you a question, how was your weekend? Let me tell you something, just between you and me, we don't care. We don't want to know. We're not really interested. We're doing our job. We're asking that question because we want you to use the vocabulary that you've learned from last week, or the vocabulary that you may have learned, through the days, to incorporate that into your conversation. So please, the next time a teacher asks you, how was your weekend? Don't say good. Just elaborate, okay? If you've gone to the mall, tell the teacher you've gone to the mall and why. What did you buy? Who did you go with? What did you do? Did you like that mall or not? That is the purpose of a conversation class, and that is the purpose of these three questions. Tell me about the weekend, tell me about your work or your job, and tell me about the news. I'm giving you three different opportunities to use different vocabulary. About the weekend, you can use simple words like, barbecue, kitchen, food, whatever. When I ask you about work, I'm giving you an opportunity to talk about business, your experiences, what's happening at the company, meaning sophisticated vocabulary. And when I ask you about the news, I'm giving you an opportunity to talk about something you may have read. It's a form of encouragement for you to read. And one very important thing, okay? Conversation classes, as I said, are meant for you to talk using the vocabulary you've learned. If you don't use the vocabulary you learned, there's no point in having classes because you're going to continue to use the same old vocabulary that you've always used. So that's why we ask these three questions, okay? We are not intruding. We don't want to spy on your life and know what you're doing. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to make you talk and to make you use the words from the previous classes, okay? One other thing I want to talk to you about is prepare for the classes. People come to English classes as if they were coming to an ice cream shop or a bakery or something. They just go. Sometimes they don't even bring a notebook, which is very disappointing. So prepare for the class. If you have a class tomorrow, tonight, you think about, oh, what am I going to tell my teacher? What am I going to ask my teacher? How am I going to use what I've learned last week or something like this? Use the opportunity to surprise your teacher using the vocabulary, using sophisticated words. Because if you use the same words every time, you're not going to change. Nothing is going to happen. So prepare for the classes. The night before, sit down, write a little script of what you want to say, write a little script of the questions you want to ask, okay? And one last point, something for you student to understand. You must be doing all the talking. About 80%, 70 to 80% of the time in class should be spent with you talking, not the teacher. So if your teacher talks more than you do, that's wrong. That shouldn't happen. Except for beginners, right? Beginners, the teachers have to talk more. But if you are an advanced student or even an intermediate student, you must be doing 70% of the talking, and the teacher must be doing 30% of the talking. So I urge you and I beg you, next opportunity you have, prepare for your class. Write a script of how the weekend, what's happening at work, and something interesting you may have seen or read on the news. Your teacher is going to be very happy, and I am going to be very happy, I know that. So I hope you get that, and thank you. Have a very good day.